How's it going? Galore Wrestling Figures here. Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Unmatched Series 4 MJF. And now this figure I've been after for quite a while. If you've seen my most recent figure haul, you would have seen that I said that I've been after this since it's been released, and I saw it in Forbidden Planet a couple of weeks ago, and I did my research on it and fully saw what it was like. And I thought that it looked good. So when I was in Forbidden Planet the other week, I saw it and I thought I'd get it. And this figure cost me £20, which, to be honest, to me, is good value for your money, because you're getting quite a lot with this figure. And before I do the review, I just want to say this is probably one of the best AEW figures, in my opinion, and that's just going off what I own, and I do own quite a lot of the AEW figures. So that's sort of proof of me highly recommending this figure. So I do recommend getting this one. So as always, let's get on to the accessories. Okay, so now on to the accessories, and as I did say, you do get quite a few accessories and a couple of cool ones as well. So as always, well, not always, but with most MJFs you do get a scarf, and with this one you do get a scarf, and I really do like the AEW scarves because they're quite a nice high quality, and I'm not actually sure if you could say that the high quality in terms of what they are actually made out of, but to be honest, I do feel like the high quality because of how they feel compared to, like, say, other accessories. So I do quite like the scarves. That does go for, like, scarves with, say, Chris Jericho. Not the rubber ones, just these sort of cloth ones. I do quite like them, but mainly MJFs. And I'm not sure if this is the same as the Unrivaled Series 2. I think that is a slight bit darker, but it is missing. I might be wrong, but I think it is missing a bit of red going across, and maybe a bit of whiteness on it. But to be honest, it does look quite good, even if it's not accurate. To me, accurate things like this scarves don't really too bother me because they do look good. And of course, I'm pretty sure this gear is based off a specific event, and of course this scarf would be as well. But to be honest, once it's on display, it's not that bad. So yeah, there's the scarf, which I do like. And as always, with AEW figures, you do get a microphone. Got quite a lot of these now. And I'm not sure if this is just me, if they've done this on purpose, but I've noticed these always sort of warp. See if you get the right angle, but if you notice, it's sort of like, this one isn't as much, but it sort of goes in a bit like that. Most of them are like that, but to be honest, I feel like they might be a bit better like that, because then they do fit in the hands a bit better. But I think that they might just warp because they're in the boxes. But they are like cheap. Well, they might be cheap plastic in terms of how they're made, but they don't really feel cheap. Like, you can't bend them back into place, so it must just be how they are in the packaging, or how they are actually supposed to be. But this ain't got it too bad, but I do quite like how they are slightly warped, because then they fit in the hands better. But the microphones, I'm not too big on the microphones because we get too much, in my opinion, but they do look quite good. But the detail on this, if that focuses, great detail on that. Really do like it. And as always, you do get hands, but the hands for me are a bit hit or miss, really, because you get two right hands, and you get one Mike Holding hand, and one not Mike Holding hand, one fist hand, but this fist hand is got no tape on. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, the one that comes on the MJF doesn't have tape on it, but it is a Mike Holding one. But I do like what they've done with them. They have managed to put the ring on it, which I do like. The ring is quite a cool feature that's sort of sculpted on it. And then I did it on this one. I'm not sure if it's because he took it off at the event or not, but it's a bit of a shame it isn't on that one, but it is on this one, and I do really like that. So there's the hands. Now on to the figure. So now we're on to the figure. And the first thing I do want to say about this figure is, one thing I've noticed about AEW figures recently is that they feel a lot high, better quality. Not all of them, but most of them, a bit better, higher quality compared to sort of like some of the older ones, like say Series 3 Unrivaled series figures. And don't get me wrong, AEW figures from the start, some have been some have been good quality, some have been bad quality, but most of them look good, but the quality isn't the best in terms of they go loose quite easily. But these might go loose quite easily, these newer figures, but in sort of how they feel, if that makes sense, they feel a lot better in terms of quality, and they feel the same, but they just feel better. It's hard to explain, but they do feel a bit better in quality, and also I'm pretty sure that they might have actually changed the factories. That might be why. But I know Series 6 Unrivaled people were starting to drop out of collecting these because of the quality. But now it feels like they've gone up. But they don't really feel... They feel the same, but just not as much as sort of some of the earlier ones. But they do feel a bit better. They sort of feel a bit more... Not heavier, but sort of... It's hard to explain. I'm not going to waffle on about it when it's hard to explain, but, you know, if you've got any of the recent AEW figures, you'll know what I mean. But enough of the quality, and onto the figure itself. So I do want to start off with the head. And this head, I know a lot of people say it, and I am sort of going to agree with them. It doesn't look like MJF too much. Because the beard's there, in my opinion, because I've got a beard similar to that, and yeah, that it does look accurate. Of course, going on to the front as well, underneath the chin. The beard does look accurate, but the face, I don't know. I feel like the eyes, something about the eyes, and sort of how they're positioned, they don't really feel right. Maybe the cheeks, something about them, it just don't feel right. But it ain't too bad, and of course, the hair is quite nice on this. I'll say that, the hair is quite sculpted on quite well. And it is sort of, I'm not too big of a fan of how they've done the beard. I feel like it could be a bit lighter. But the hair is great on this. Now moving down, of course, we've got the torso. And, of course, side-to-side articulation. And the ab crunch goes forward a fair bit. And it does go back a fair bit as well. See, like, with these torsos, I feel like they are better than Elites, but I do prefer Elites just because this bit's rubber, and it feels a lot cheaper because it's rubber than plastic. But also, I just sort of prefer Elite articulation, the ab crunch. But this ab crunch ain't bad, but it does go loose quite easily. But as I say, with these newer figures, they don't tend to go as loose as much. But yeah. But yeah, as I always say, this bit is rubber. That is one thing to remember. It does annoy me quite a bit. But yeah, of course, you've got the tattoo on the right arm. I do like this tattoo. It's sort of like... I'm not the expert on MJF's tattoos, but... Is that a lion? Yeah, it might be a lion. Some animal. Not the... I don't know. It is painted on there quite well, or whatever they've done. But it's just quite hard to make out what it is. Of course, you got the crown on it, and... One thing that does annoy me is because of the pins in the arms, it does sort of cut off the tattoo, like right there. But yeah, it's not too bad. But eventually we'll probably have pinless, double jointed arms. But yeah, as I say, talking of double jointed, these are double jointed, which I do like. And then of course you've got on this arm, you have got this white elbow pad, and you have got the MJF logo on in that sort of same... I'm not sure what that... you'd sort of call that style, that sort of what's same as his scarf. Actually, someone put in the comments what that's called, that sort of style. I'm not an expert on that. The names that I can think of the name, but I just can't remember it. There is a name for it, I just can't remember. But yeah, so that is quite good. Quite good how they have done it. And of course, now onto the hands, you have got, of course, on the left hand, which you don't get any interchangeable ones for. You've got a Mike Holding wrist tape hand. And then on the right, you have got a Mike Holding hand with the diamond ring. And now what does confuse me is this is a Mike Holding hand, but this doesn't have tape on. No, this does have tape on, but it doesn't have the ring on. It might be because he took it off or he just didn't have it with tape. But yeah, there's that. Does look quite good. Now, oh yeah, of course you have got, as always, forgot to nearly mention it, that torso. tattoo right on the upper torso. They have done that quite good. Do like that one. And now the gear itself, of course, it is just sort of like a pure white gear, but it has got a fair bit of purple and gold on it. Of course, you've got the two lions, you could say, at the front. Is it lions again? It's hard to make out what the animals are. Yeah, I think they are lions. And then, of course, at the back, you have got MJF. I do like the white and the purple. It does mix quite well, especially with the gold. I do really like that. It does look quite good. Moving down, you have got the sort of square style kick pads. And now, AEW kick pads, they're not all like this, but some are. Knee pads, I mean, not kick pads. Some are like this, the sort of square. I'm not I think like this is more accurate, but they're a bit too square. They could sort of make them a bit less square, but they do look quite good. More realistic, I suppose. And of course, you have got a sort of leg tape on both sides underneath the kick pads, which is quite cool that they've done that. Adds a bit more detail. And then you have got the boots, just plain standard black boots with, of course, the sort of upper part there. And they have done that quite well. So yeah, I do really like that figure. And now I do want to compare it to one other figure that I have got that I want to compare it to. So before I do the quick comparison to the figures, what I do want to compare is the scarves, because I should have probably done this before, but here's the Unmatched Series 4 scarf, and here's the Unrivaled Series 2 scarf. And now, they're both the same length. I'm pretty sure the design's the same, except this one in the right hand is slightly different. Just sort of in terms of positioning that line down the middle. But they do pretty much look the same. This one is lighter a colour. This one is a lighter colour, the Unrivaled one. I do prefer the darker colour. But the main thing, the difference I have noticed, is this one is a lot thicker. I'm just going to put them on top of each other. Yeah, there is a... Yeah, that's the size. So yeah, this one is... The Unrivaled 2 is a lot bigger. But I probably do prefer the Unmatched 2 one, just because it feels a lot better because it's darker. But there's the scarf. So now, the two figures I do want to compare are the Unmatched Series 4 and the Unrivaled Series 2. And now, I remember I got this Unrivaled Series 2 from Home Bargains a couple, like last year when they started selling them. That was, what year was that? 2021. They started selling them for a bit originally, Unrivaled Series 2. So I picked quite a couple of those up that I didn't have from the set. But to this day, this still remains as one of my favourite figures. Now, I might be wrong, but I do remember that I don't think it came with any interchangeable hands. So the main problem is that, you see this hand right here? This left hand? Yeah, it just feels really off. Because it's just sort of like permanently stuck in that position. I don't know. It's good when it's holding a mic, but just like that, it looks a bit weird. But yeah, of course, here's the two figures side by side. This one's sort of I feel like the skin tone's a bit better on the Unrivaled, because this one is a bit too shinier and a bit too I don't know. This sort of looks more like a skin colour, whereas this sort of looks more of figure style, if that makes sense. So I do prefer the Unrivaled Series 2 one, but the Unmatched 4 is quite close in terms of being better, because I do quite like it. Head scans, I do probably prefer the Unrivaled 2 head scan, because it doesn't have a beard on this one. But what I will say is that if this one had a beard, it would probably be a lot better. But I do prefer the Unrivaled 2. The tattoo is better on the Unmatched 4 in my opinion. And now the gear, the main comparison is the gear. Of course, I'm pretty sure they are the same gear, just different colours. Sort of two lines on them. I do prefer the white gear. Of course, yeah, the white gear is a lot better. Really do like the white gear. White, black armbands, elbow pad. I do prefer the white elbow pad because it's white and also the detail on it with the MJF. And the boots are pretty much the same. So yeah, there's the two comparisons between the two figures. So I think that wraps up everything for the video, and I think I've covered everything. But yeah, it is a great figure in my opinion. I'm not too sure what I'd rate it out of 10, but I do really like the figure. I think I do probably prefer it over Unrivaled Series 2 at MJF, but that'll be quite hard to say. But it is a really good figure, and if you find it for a good price, £20 or under, I recommend getting it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.